Tubulus. We're back with another video, and you can see the intake has arrived. I've got it just 2 bolts in it, mocked up, and I'm noticing it's way bigger than I thought it was going to be. That kind of lines up with that hole, so if we get a 45 boot through there for the intercooler, that might work, should work. Right now it looks like this sticks out too far. We've got this engine bracket sticking out. We got to figure that out. So I've got to see if this fuel rail is going to work. I've just taken it out of the spacer, and what Radium provides is these here. They press in there, and then your injectors seal up. These injectors look like they fit these holes automatically, so we don't need the Radium spacers, which would have been nice because they would have bumped us out. I'm guessing these bolts here are so that we can mount our rail. Radium did provide a couple different style brackets, so I'm sure we'll have them. Big thing is clearing this bracket here. Let's see if it fits. So I've got the rail here. Try to sneak it in there. It does look like the injector clip is hitting. For the most part, we miss all these. That's nice. It's darn close. I wonder if I have to flip it around. Probably not. No, that's not gonna work. All right, we need to figure out what brackets Radium sent us for these. These spacers here come out, so we can modify this. I believe they have taller brackets that bolt on here. We're gonna have to try to make this work. What I am seeing is my fuel line is gonna come in back here. That's gonna suck. It's gonna be very tight. And then I've got my fuel pressure regulator going here, which we've got. I'll show you in a second. Here is our Radium fuel pressure regulator. Look at that thing. Man, that thing looks sick. So we got that. That goes on the end of the rail. We've got some fittings here to make it fit. But, I mean, look at that. It looks so good. I think it goes on that way, maybe. I don't know. Gonna have to figure that out as well. Right now, I am looking for all of our Radium stuff, fittings and whatnot, so that we can adapt this fuel rail. We've got a lot of stuff here. Let me dig through this and find what I'm looking for. All right, here they are. I love all the stickers you get when you buy this stuff. My toolbox at home is looking awesome at this point. So it looks like what they gave me is some plugs for whatever harness I may have. And then I've got these feet here from the fuel rail. So that looks like that's about all I've got. We are going to have to make this rail work with what we have. Let me take that bracket off and see what we got. I think once we take this bracket off here, we will be fine. Let's hope. We're going to have to keep this bracket because we may have to take this engine out at some point. So basically, it's saying it goes on just like that, but I think I need these on the other side if they line up, which I think the injectors are going to go in, but we've got to get creative with mounting this rail. Look at these little baby injectors. They're tiny for some 1050s. It's crazy. I want to see if these even go into this rail. All right, we are good. So let's get them sticking in there. Now, if we were to flip this rail, it's still not going to line up. So what do you do to bolt your rail down? I mean, other people have used radium rails on these. 100% going to get in the way. I guess we need to take these off. I am definitely noticing that the mounts for this do not line up for whatever mounts come with this. Actually, this intake came with a fuel rail. This is the fuel rail that it was intended to go with it, but we gotta use the radium, albeit this one would probably do the same thing. It's the same size. Threaded, is that -10 or -8? It's big. So I am quickly figuring out that you can see where the stud comes up to mount with the rail that came with this intake does not line up. What's that? Does not line up with the mounts that come with this. So we are going to have to get custom. I think I have to take this off and make it an L somehow. How would you do that? I've got one back there that I've got to make as well. You can see that little chrome nub sticking up there. You can see in the back as well, this is where the mount on the intake is, and the mount for the rail is over here from the stock position. So what do we do with that? I think I'm gonna have to take this thing off, get it on the bench, and try to figure something out, because we're using the radium rail. It's way too cool not to use. And we're not going back to the stock intake now that we've got this one. It just looks too good. I wish it were a little bit tighter though. You know, you see them in pictures and they just don't look as big as they are. But they're big. It looks good on there. We tried to buy a black one. They didn't have any black in stock. We just wanted to get it here, so here we are. Maybe we can have it powder coated or anodized, who knows? We'll see. But for now, I really have to try to figure out how to mount this rail. Have any of you seen anyone mount a radium rail on an intake, an aftermarket intake? If you have, please direct me in their direction. That would be awesome. And yeah, that's where we're at. So I'm gonna have to go back to the drawing board and try to figure this out. Radium does this thing where they've got fuel dampers that screw in here. They're little round UFO looking things. We're probably not gonna go that route, but so we've got 2 holes on the bottom we've got to plug. This one lines up directly with the rail mount that comes with the intake. All right, I think I have figured it out. I've been looking at this for a while. My only option is to cut these down, get a somewhat thick piece of metal, run it all the way the length of this, that bolts to that, with little ears that come out and bolt to each mounting point. I've got this 1/4 inch, well, not 1/4 inch, maybe a little less. No, I've got this 1/4 inch plate here. I think what I'm going to do is cut a 3/4 inch wide strip all the way down, make it the length what I need to the mounting holes, and I'm going to drill it. I'm going to cut these down, drill them, tap them. I will mount that plate to those, and if I'm really good, I can cut the ears out where they need to be and drill them, or I can make a bracket that bolts to the plate and bolts to this. This is very early in the design stage, but I don't know what else to do. There is no way we're not using this radium rail. We have to use it at this point. The money's been spent. It's gonna be freaking awesome. I'm sure someone has used the 1J radium rail with an aftermarket intake. I just can't find anything online. So I guess it's time to cut those. I think that's what I'm gonna go with. I just need to make sure I've got room to run a plate through there. Gosh, what would you do? Man, by the time I cut this down, I'm not gonna have a lot of room to run this plate. So these come out, they're just studs. I cut it down to there. I just drill it and tap it just like they did. I make this, I don't know, 1/2 inch wide. It's thick enough to where it's not going to flex or bend. It's going to hold the rail down enough to hold the pressure. Oh man, what do I do? Maybe I will cut this first and then I don't know what to do here. I've got it marked out for length and where my little notches need to be. Man, here we go. Wish me luck. I'm not sure this is even gonna work. Getting close, guys. So basically that's going to mount on there. It's going to bolt up there, there, and there. So obviously I move it over so they all line up good, and then I will just whack off whatever's hanging over once I get it all done. I think, and then you can see I'm a little bit lower, so it's gonna suck the rail down just a little bit. That's what I wanted. I want it to put pressure on the O-rings so we don't have any leaks. Now I have to try to figure out how to drill all of these holes and have them line up. That's gonna be the hard part. So that'll be the gist of it though. That'll be what the rail looks like. I actually think I'm going to take a little bit off here just so I'm not resting on the intake runners. I don't know if I am or not. I think it's tight as it is. So I will make it so that I can move that out a little bit, or I'll make it a little more narrow. And hopefully that gets us what we need. Making headway. I've got the bracket that bolts to the rail here. So that's gonna go on there. Now I need to figure out how and where I'm going to drill these holes on the back. You can see I've got to drill a hole there and a hole there to hold the rail down, which is gonna hold it down just nicely. Once it sucks that gap out of there, and then that's what it's gonna look like. Fits in there nice. Doesn't look all wonky and crooked because I cut it all with the grinder and then eyeballed the holes that I drilled. I didn't use one bit of mathematics. So once I get it, then we will trim this edge up, bring it back. We will trim this front edge and get rid of that, get rid of that, and get rid of that. I was trying to compensate for being off any. That way, if I am off, I can cut it the right width. So there's that. Now, how the heck do I drill this hole? Let me think, let me figure this out. Well, here's my dilemma, guys. I've got my hole drilled here. I can get this bolt threaded in here, but because there is a hole there, the head of the bolt hits the fuel rail, and you can kind of see where it did. So either I create and drill out a spacer and use a longer bolt to bring the head up above. I guess that's my only option. I don't really know what else to do. It's so tight to the rail. And this one works perfectly. But that's the gist of the design. Maybe we can make it and call it a quick remove fuel rail. I don't know. So thinking about this, I don't know what I'm going to do yet. We will figure it out. I think we got it, guys. It's mounted, it's tight. I need to trim these tabs and clean it up and then paint it. But we ended up making spacers and using a longer bolt. So basically it just sandwiches it. We ended up having the exact same size round stock in aluminum, so we just drilled it out and made it work. So the rail is on there. I don't think it looks horrible. I think I might shorten this up a little bit just to bring the head of the bolt down, kind of like that one. Yeah, so I'm gonna probably shorten that up. I'm gonna clean it all up, paint it black, and you'll never see it. But now we've got the Radium rail on the aftermarket intake. It's gonna work. It's gonna be awesome. So we're that much closer. Now we can get our fuel lines ran. I will end this video here. If you were ever wondering how to mount your Radium rail, I wouldn't say my way is the right way, but it's gonna work. If you made it this far in the video, I appreciate you for watching. If you wanna see this thing run, you're gonna have to come back. Make sure you subscribe, follow the playlist. We've got a playlist going on this, the VR6 Jetta. We've got the Passat we just went to the junkyard today for and bought a bunch of parts, got them half off. Awesome day. Thanks for watching, guys. We really appreciate you. Peace.